Well, welcome everybody. It's so great to be with you all. I hear the bells ringing in Breslin Tower, which sounds so beautiful. And so that tells me it's 6 o'clock, and I think we'll go ahead and get started. And my name is Susan Askew, and I'm class of 86 at Sewanee, and I am the Associate Vice President for Alumni and Parent Programs. And I'm just so grateful to be with you all tonight, and I've missed you alumni so much at our Sewanee Club events around the country, and even just on visits on campus at homecoming or reunion weekend. And so we have tried to find ways to be together since we can't do those other things. And so I'm just so glad and grateful that you guys have joined us tonight in this way to talk about a topic I'm really excited about. And so I'm glad you're interested in learning more about St. Andrews Sewanee. And I just wanted to say that during the pandemic, they were able to they made the decision to have in-person learning. And they were very careful. They did a great job about being safe, balancing safety with allowing the students to be together. And I noticed myself that there was a little uptick in their student body population, and many of the new students were children of alumni. And so maybe their school was not doing in-person learning, or it was just another opportunity to maybe give St. Andrews a second look. And so we thought it might be fun to share more news about St. Andrews with other alumni who might want to consider it too. And before we get into it, I just want to say what an asset St. Andrews is for the university. It allows us to attract first-class faculty and staff, but it's also another employment option for people. And the faculty members there are Sewanee alumni, which I think is another plus for the school. But that relationship between Sewanee and SAS has a long history, and it's very strong and meaningful. And just to be transparent, I have a student at SAS. My son Spears is a sophomore, and I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I used to say, oh, yeah, it's really nice option. We're lucky that we have SAS here. And then once my son became a student there, I now answer that question. Oh my gosh, we are so lucky to have SAS as an option here. And so you're going to hear reasons about why that is in just a minute. So I'm looking forward for you to hear all about it. I want to let you know who we're joined by tonight. We're in for a treat. And so who we have here tonight, I'll just go in the order that it is on my screen, but we have Kelly Black. She is the Associate Head of School and Academic Dean, and she's class of 90 of Sewanee. And then we have Jeffrey Smith, who's another Sewanee alum, class of 95, and he is the Dean of Students and teaches history. I should have said that, but okay, you're Dean of Students, I know for sure. And then we have Derek Perkins, who is the Director of Admission. And we have Carl Sholin, who is the Head of School. And then Rachel Malday, who is the Middle School Director. And then we're in for a real treat with the students, and I'm going to let you guys hear from them in a little bit. And also, everyone here tonight is here to answer any questions that you have. So I didn't clear this with them, but I really think it's off limits. Just ask whatever you have on your mind. And so I have some questions that some of you submitted ahead of time, but if you did not have a chance to ask any questions and you have some as they come up, if you'll use that little Q&A feature at the bottom and just type your question there, and we'll answer those. But before we get to the questions, I wanted you all to hear from Carl Scholin, the head of school. And Carl is a graduate of the Virginia Military Institute, and he played baseball there, which is Division I, so I think that's pretty impressive. And he got his master's from Columbia University. And he has been at SAS for almost 5 years, and he's just been a wonderful leader, a great leader at the right time. And so I know you will enjoy hearing from him, and then we'll get into the questions after that. But right now, Carl, would you mind to give some remarks?
Thank you, Susan. I went to VMI because I couldn't get into a place like Sewanee. So I want to thank the university for their willingness, and thank Susan for just putting this together tonight. We're just so grateful. And the relationship that we have with the university is an incredible blessing to SAS, I can assure you. And so I'm happy to hear that the feeling is mutual. And of course, we love Spears. I look forward to a chance to see him shoot that three again. The guy is just rock solid out there on the basketball court. So I've been missing that this year. Our goal this evening is just to give you a little bit of a sample of what SAS is really like. And we thought, of course, the best way to do that is to let you hear from our students and our faculty. And as Susan said, we want to answer your questions. So we're going to say some things, but the reality is what we really want to do is make sure that we're answering the questions that you have. And before we do that, though, I do want to mention a couple of things. And one of them is what Susan had already talked about, that prior to November 10th of this year, we had completed 86 days in a row of in-person classes this fall. And so on that Tuesday, on November 10th, however, we had our first COVID positive case. It was our very first one of the year. And our plan had initially been to go online for just 3 days, do some cleaning, contact tracing, and testing. And then we were going to get back to in-person learning for the last week and a half before Thanksgiving. But one case turned into more cases, and it just made sense for us to go ahead and stay online because the 4-county region that we're in was just getting really hot. And so that's sort of how we sort of managed the fall, and we were really grateful to have that opportunity. And I thank the kids and the faculty for working so hard and taking it so seriously so that we were able to do that. And I do want you to know that also the university has made it possible for us to do that because they've done such a tremendous job. Although the 4-county region has been hot, things up here because of the University of the South have been really good up on the mountain. And so we were able to keep the virus off campus for a long time. But we knew it was just a matter of time before it would pick up steam. And so that's what happened. But I also want to mention that, we made that decision on a Tuesday afternoon. And we told all the students, we're going to go ahead and go virtual starting tomorrow. And then that Wednesday morning, everybody was in class. And that was because we had done the kind of planning that we needed to do to get everybody prepared and to have all the systems in place so that we could make that switch really quickly, and we were able to do that. And so when we come back in January, which we'll come back in January in person, if we need to go back online before this thing sort of runs its course, then we'll be able to do that just as quickly. And so I just wanted to let you know our goal has been to keep the families and the students and the faculty safe and healthy. And speaking of families, just so you know, our day families do come from the counties right around us, but also we have boarding families that come from 13 different states. We've got students from Alabama and Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, North Carolina, New Hampshire, New York, South Carolina, Washington, and then, of course, the largest number come from Tennessee, really all over Tennessee. And we also have international students that come from several different countries, including Australia, Canada, China, Dominica, Germany, Italy, Jamaica, Kenya, Rwanda, and Spain, and of course the U.S. Um, and so, this is a very diverse community. We have students from really all over the country, all over the world, and that's one of the blessings for us. And then all in the different counties all around, which represent a lot of different socioeconomic groups and different political persuasions, and this is a melting pot. SAS is a very diverse campus in so many ways, and that's one of the things we just love about it. This fall, we have students, a lot of students taking courses over at the university. I think Kelly will probably talk maybe a little bit more about that. But you may remember when you were at the university, there were SAS students possibly in some of your classes. Hopefully they made a good impression on you. Hopefully they behaved and did all their work. But we have students right now that are taking principles of chemistry, elementary French, German, introduction to molecular biology, intro to macro, and all kinds of great courses. And that's one of the benefits of coming to SAS. Whether you're a day student or a boarder, of course, you can take classes over at the University of the South, which we think is a tremendous benefit for our kids. And then that also means that a lot of our kids get exposed to the University of the South and end up falling in love with the University of the South. And in the past 4 years, we've had 32 of our graduating seniors, one who's on this Zoom call right now, 32 in the last 4 years that chose to stay on the mountain and go to the University of the South. And so we're very excited about that. We love that relationship. We think the Sewanee admissions department really thinks a lot of our kids. They love the way they think, the way they're taught, the way they learn, and so they're very impressed with, I think, the kids that come to us from SAS. But we also send kids, of course, if they decide that they just need to leave the mountain. We have students right now studying at Columbia and Wellesley and University of Chicago and Vanderbilt and United States Military Academy, Berkeley, Carnegie Mellon, UVA, NYU, and lots of other great schools. And it just runs a gamut. We have students that we believe that students can go anywhere from here, and many of them come here and decide to stay here, and we love it when they do that. So I tell you a lot of this just to let you know that SAS is a great place, and we have great outcomes, and that's important because the way we look at everything is through three lenses. And those three lenses are challenge, balance, and joy. We challenge our students to be the best version of themselves, while at the same time we promote and encourage balance in everything that they do. And of course, we never want them to lose sight of the importance of experiencing joy in the journey. We think that's absolutely critical. And we're able to do this because we have an incredible faculty. And as Susan already told you, many of whom are graduates of the University of the South. And in fact, I'm surrounded on my administrative team with University of the South graduates. She just pointed out, Kelly Black is our associate head of school and the academic dean. Jeffrey Smith is the dean of students. And Rachel Malday, it runs our middle school. And so we just, at the very top, we have folks that were trained and taught over at the university, and we think that's really important. Obviously, they turn out some great products over there. And we've got a program, we think, that provides the opportunities every single day for students to take risks. And when I talk about risk, obviously I'm talking about the good kinds of risks, the ones inside and outside of the classroom. In other words, if a student has never climbed a rock face, we'll help them climb a rock face. If they think mountain biking looks really cool, then we're going to take them mountain biking. If they've never sung on a stage, but they'd secretly like to, then we're going to encourage them to do that. In fact, all of us are going to encourage them to give it a shot. We'll teach them to write papers, solve complex math and science problems, to learn different languages, to speak in public, to disagree without being disagreeable. And we're going to get them prepared for the next step, and whether that's over at the University of the South or some other great university. And we think these things are all important because they're at the heart of what we do, which is summed up in the proverb, train a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not turn from it. And so we're asking ourselves every day, what is that training for? Well, we're training them to solve math problems, yes. To think and write critically, absolutely. To speak a second language, you bet. But those things aren't enough. Our kids also need to learn how to live with and relate to those in positions of authority, to those that they're leading, to their peers, to their loved ones, to God. That's what the training's all about, how to handle and manage relationships, how to nurture them, how to work through them, or how to remove yourself from them when need be. These are the really important things that we all have to learn. Because SAS students, they're bright, they're talented, and they work hard. They're going to go to great schools like Sewanee, and they're going to be successful in life. We know that. But it has to be about more than that. The question of whether or not they're going to be successful in the eyes of the world isn't really the questions that are going to matter down the road. The real question will be, what kind of people are they going to be when they get there? Will they be compassionate and loving? Will they be honorable and decent? Will they be able to work through issues on their own, confronting them head on and not leaving them for someone else to solve, or simply hoping they'll go away? Training students to excel in the classroom is critical, but a great teacher, a great school, never forgets that in addition to teaching them to be creative and critical thinkers, we're also training them to be faithful friends and spouses, nurturing mothers and encouraging fathers, honest and hardworking employees, and fair and loyal bosses. And I can assure you, SAS graduates are going to be bosses. And so these are the questions that are going to matter down the road. And these are the questions that we're addressing daily at SAS. And it's been that way for a long time. So if you're looking for challenge, balance, and joy in a welcoming and grace-filled community, then you've come to the right place. And we just appreciate you being here this evening, and we thank Susan for making this possible. Susan?
Great. Thank you so much for that wonderful overview, Carl. And don't you go anywhere, because we've got some questions for you.
All right.
But this first question that I got, I think is probably for Kelly. Can you tell us about the teachers, specifically the student-teacher ratio? How qualified are they, and how are they involved in the lives of the students?
Sure, I'm happy to talk about that. So our teachers, for one, get to know our students really, really well, and I think the students on this call can talk a little bit about that as well. In a typical classroom, our class size, average class size is 14, 15 students. And the interesting thing about SAS is that the adults that are involved with the students are involved with them in many different ways and many different roles. So not only are they their classroom teacher, but they're also their soccer coach, or in my case, tennis coach, in Jeffrey's case, soccer coach. They're also their afternoon program leader, their advisor. There are a number of different roles that we all have as faculty at SAS, and we connect with students in many different ways. And so what the advantage of that is that we get to know our students on the playing field as well as in the classroom, and they get to know us in those venues as well. We have an amazing faculty, and they are so passionate about what they do. They love their discipline. They get super excited. You can hear them in the hallways walking down the hall, teaching their thing, and I think the students can talk about that too. Most of our teachers have advanced degrees. We do have, let's see, 5 PhD faculty members as well. We have a nice range of faculty from younger faculty, a few years out of college, to very veteran faculty as well. And that's a really wonderful mix. But we have a committed, passionate faculty that really strives to get to know every single student. And those relationships are lasting. We often hear back from our alumni. They keep us informed, let us know what's happening. It's just very special.
Awesome. Well, while I have you here, can you, another question was about the kinds of courses that are offered. And I know Carl talked about foreign language and some other things, but can you talk about that, the different kinds of things that are taught?
Sure. So our students take a typical college preparatory curriculum in English, math, science, history, language, and arts. In addition to that, we have a really nice selection of electives in each of those disciplines. And so many of our electives take advantage of our 550 acres of forest and stream and wetland. So we teach courses like environmental science and geology and archaeology in the sciences. In the humanities, we teach environmental history. We've taught Appalachian history before. This semester, we taught American electoral politics. We have a lot of electives in the arts as well, in pottery, in visual arts, other visual arts like drawing and painting, technical drawing, which is more architecture. And we have advanced classes. So at SAS, we teach an independent curriculum. So our philosophy is a focus on depth over breadth. And so we really see students as workers, as doers, and they're very active in the classroom. And so our curriculum reflects that. And so we can offer things that really play to our faculty strengths, our geographic location as well. And we have a number of advanced courses in biology, chemistry, physics, and mathematics that are taught at the AP level. While we don't teach AP courses, which is in keeping with our philosophy of depth over breadth, our courses are rigorous. Our kids work really hard, and they're well prepared for what comes after.
Great, thank you. Okay, here's another question. And Jeffrey, I think this one will probably be for you. Because I'd love you to talk about the afternoon programs in your answer, but someone wanted to know about, they say that we like to say you belong here, but can you talk about the different ways that a child can find something that lights them up?
Sure. Hi, thanks, Susan. So we do use this tagline, "You belong here." And one of the things about SAS is that we really mean it. I'm going to give an example from a survey that we carried out last fall, and then I'll give some examples of how students can pursue their individual interests and passions. But one of the ways that we assure that each student belongs here is through the advisory program. Each student is assigned a faculty or staff member as an advisor, and that student meets regularly with his or her advisor, including a weekly advisory lunch, because we know that these meaningful, sustained connections with adults impact a student's life favorably. And so in a survey that we conducted last year, we asked our students questions that experts consider to be mental health and wellness indicators. And 80% of the students at SAS agreed with the statement, "I feel like I belong here. I feel like I belong at SAS." And 99% of the students agreed with the statement that "I feel supported by at least one friend at SAS." And then 97% of our students indicated that there's at least one adult at SAS who genuinely cares about my well-being. And so those are some of the ways in which we see these indicators in which students feel like they belong here. And then if they have individual interests or passions, what they often do is seek out an adult member of the community to help them with their project or their journey. So clubs, for example, often change each year based on the individual interests and passions of the students. This year, for example, students formed a Black student union, and they also formed a fishing club where they fish in Gun Lake right here on the campus. There are other clubs and activities that continue to be popular from one year to the next, like Interact, which is a service oriented organization. And there's some other clubs too in which students find ways to express themselves and to feel like they belong here.
Awesome. Yeah, I love this balance between Kelly talking about the great academic offerings and your explanation too. I just feel like at SAS, like a lot of schools might have clubs and afternoon programs, but you guys have a campus with a lake on it, like you mentioned, and hiking trails and biking trails. And then, you know, you have the university that shares their golf course and the Fowler Center. It's just, I think you're in a little bit more of a unique situation that way. Another question.
Susan, there's some mighty good fish in that lake. There's some good fish in that lake. I mean, you know.
Susan, if I could add on to the comment that you just shared, many of the things that the folks on this Zoom meeting may associate with life on the mountain from their own experience as a student at the university, the students at SAS also enjoy. So things like hiking the Perimeter Trail, or hearing a concert at Angel Park, or seeing a play by the American Shakespeare Company. So those kinds of things that, again, the folks on this Zoom meeting may associate with life on the mountain, our SAS students also enjoy. It's because of our emphasis on the arts and the outdoors that our students achieve that balance that Carl was talking about in his overview.
Great. Okay, I had a few questions about middle school. So Rachel, can you just kind of talk about what middle school sort of looks like, and do they already begin the foreign language there? What expectations are laid out for them? Just share what middle school is like.
Absolutely, thank you. Thanks, Susan. So middle school, we begin in 6th grade. So we have 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And right now we have about 75 students in the middle school. We have 8th grade boarding as well for middle school students. And that's a relatively new program, maybe 5 or 6 years old. And it's becoming more and more robust. And it's really, really fun to see the 8th grade boarding students interact with both the high school boarding students and then the middle schoolers. So they're kind of in both areas. So the middle school day is, we try to put the challenge, balance, and joy into each day, Monday through Friday, in their schedule. And we do that with a variety of classes. The college prep starts in 6th grade. So we have humanities and math and science, and they have an introduction to language in 6th grade. And then it's balanced with classes like performing arts and theater, music, visual arts, adventure education, where they take advantage of our beautiful campus and the campus of the university as well. And then we have an advisory program that goes through the 3 grades as well. So the advisory program is where we address kind of the social emotional needs of the kids and also help them become responsible for their academics in a way that maybe they haven't been used to before they kind of gained this independence of middle school. I should say too that the 7th and 8th grade curriculum is similar to the 6th grade, but we build on it. So in 7th grade, the students choose a language that they would like to take, either Spanish or Latin. And then in 8th grade, the students have a little bit more freedom and a little bit broader curriculum. We give them the choice to kind of focus on a visual or performing art. And we also introduce an ethics class. So start grappling with some of those big ideas. And they also have the opportunity, excuse me, to take Ideate, which is a design thinking course as well in 8th grade. And their math and language classes in 8th grade are upper school level classes. So they're getting upper school credit by the time they finished with 8th grade.
Great, thank you for that. And I don't know if this is where I could throw in this question. It wasn't submitted ahead of time, but the middle school talk in the 8th grade boarding made me think about the shuttles that SAS offers. That if you don't live in Sewanee or you don't want your child to board, you guys offer some shuttles that go pretty far in our area. Can somebody answer that?
Yeah.
Mr. Smith, go ahead. Or Derek, yeah.
Sure, I'll take a step. Yeah, we have a couple buses that run off the mountain and pick up students down in the Jasper South Pitt area, and then we also have a bus that runs up in the Manchester area. So we're able to gather families down in the valley to come up to the mountain top for a great education. So, and we've been doing that for several years. We have families as far and wide as the Winchester, Cowan, Belvedere area, Manchester, again, Jasper, South Pitt, down towards Chattanooga. So lots of different families coming up to the mountaintop.
Great, thank you for that. Yeah, and then if you lived farther than, like if you live in Chattanooga, you can meet that shuttle in Oklahoma, Huntsville. I mean, I think it's nice that you guys offer that. Okay, so while we're on that subject, there's a question about boarding and how many dorms are there, how strict are the rules, and what do the students do on the weekends?
Hi, Susan. This is Jeffrey. I think maybe I'm supposed to answer that one. So we have a variety of smaller dorms, which we call all of our dorms houses because we embrace the concept of living like a family. And so there are faculty members who live on dorm attached to the house where the dorm rooms are. They vary in size. The small ones in a typical year would hold up to 12 students. This is a COVID year, so all of our students have singles. And so those smaller dorms hold 6 students. The larger dorms hold, in a typical year, 24 students. This year, again, because of COVID, the numbers are reduced because the students are all assigned singles. In every dorm, there's a lead house parent who takes responsibility for organizing the daily life of the student, and there's a team of house parents assigned to every dorm. There are 4 house parents, including the lead house parent, assigned to each dorm. There are regular study hours in the evening, and for students who need a little additional supervision or support. There are students who are on supervised study hall where there's a little extra attention given to those students about completing their assignments and remaining on schedule. Because the house parents receive information from our learning resources coordinator who provides that information to the house parents. So there's some structure with the study hours, but there's also some free time or flexible time after dinner or before study hours, in which time the union is open, and students can make use of that facility or the gym or any of the other features on our campus. And then on the weekend, the activities vary. Sometimes they are kind of silly things intended to create joy, whether it's a water balloon event or a kickball, or simply taking advantage of the hiking and the climbing that's available on the campus or elsewhere on the domain. And then in non-COVID years, we also take trips off campus to places like Chattanooga and Nashville to take advantage of the cultural opportunities there.
Great. That sounds like I want to move in. I have a few more questions that were pre-submitted, but I see that one has come through. And it looks like they're wondering about an athlete. If they transfer in, is there some sort of waiting period, like because of athletics?
Is that about mountain biking in particular, Susan?
Yes, yes.
So I'll take a shot at that one. Rob Zeitler is our athletic director, so we would need to confirm with him. But since mountain biking is not a TSSAA sport, there is likely not a waiting period for a mountain biking athlete. It's governed by a different athletic conference. For TSSAA sports, there are rules about transfer depending on whether there's a change of address for the student or not. But I'm happy to find out for sure, but that is, I feel confident with that.
Great, great. Okay, I am so looking forward to hearing from our students, but if you, because they're going to be so fun. But I do have just a few more questions. Someone asked, SAS is an Episcopal school. How much a part of everyday life is the spiritual aspect? Is there chapel every day? Maybe you, Carl?
Yep, let me unmute. We don't have chapel every day, but the Episcopal heritage is really important to us. Our Episcopal identity is very important to us. It always will be. We have, in non-COVID years, and that's really, I think, probably the best way to talk about this, we have a Eucharist service every week, once a week. We dedicate really 3 community periods during the course of a week where the chaplain is oversees those periods. One of them will be a full chapel service. The others, it might be a short prayer service and then announcements and then maybe some other programming, including senior talks and other kinds of programming. We have International Student Days. We do a number of different things that are probably wouldn't necessarily be considered chapel, but we do feel like it's important, and we celebrate Easter on campus. We're always here. In fact, one of our oldest traditions is the morning watch on Maundy Thursday of Easter, and then we'll have a Good Friday service here. And we build our spring break at a time where we generally avoid Easter, so that we'll be on campus during that time because we think it's important. But I think the nature of an Episcopal school is also a very opening, welcoming nature to it. It's embracing people of all faiths or no faith at all, and they're all welcome to come to an Episcopal school. And I didn't go to the university, but I assume it's probably similar in that same way. And that's just the nature of the Episcopal Church. Certainly, it's the nature of our particular campus that we welcome kids and families from all walks of life, all faiths. But we are an Episcopal school, and we do think that's really important and something that we guard very closely.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
Now, this was not really a question, but I thought it might be a way if somebody's sort of wanting to put their toe in the water. I know SAS has a robust summer program, and can somebody talk about all the different offerings that can be part of the summer for a student?
Susan, I'll be happy to tackle that one there. We do have a new summer opportunity this year. So obviously we have opportunities for students and adults on campus, and I'll let Rachel speak more about the Shake Rag workshops that occur in the summer in the month of June. But in July, we're going to have a fun-filled, really kind of 2+ week experience for our students starts on July 2nd and runs through July the 18th. And there'll be tons of activities on campus for an overnight camp for students that are ages 10 through 17. So rising 5th and 12th through 12th graders. Lots of activities to take advantage of. Again, the mountaintop here, our campus, the arts, music, academics, and just lots of different fun activities as well. And I would encourage families to take a look at our summer programming that's on our website, sas.org/summer. And you can connect with our summer program director, Lizzie Duncan, for more details for signing up for that. But I'll turn it over to Rachel and let her speak. She's been involved with Shake Rap for a number of years now, and I'll let her speak to those great experiences.
Sure, thanks, Derek. So for adults that really miss the mountain or that want to come get a sense of what SAS is like during the school year, Shake Rag Workshops is an excellent way to do that. It's 2 weeks of June plus a weekend, so it's a little over 2 weeks. There are workshops in all varieties of visual arts, including painting, drawing, pottery, sculpture, digital media, photography, fiber arts. This year we have writing and poetry as well, and collage and mixed media all together. And Shake Rag's been going for about 16 years. You come for a week and you sign up for a workshop. You have small classes with really outstanding instructors, and you get to take advantage of the facilities at SAS, the campus, the res, the food is excellent. It's a really fun way to kind of go to summer camp for adults. So their website is linked on sasweb.org, but it's also just shakerag.org if you're interested.
I know that's really popular. It brings a lot of people to the mountain. Okay, we've got another question through the Q&A. Wondering what other schools we compete with in athletics or in other activities. And I know from our experience, it's sort of different from middle school to high school, but can someone talk about the other schools that we interact with?
I can answer that. In addition to my role as Associate Head of School and Academic Dean and biology teacher, I also coach tennis and have been coaching tennis for 14 years here at SAS. We are part of the Division IIA, small independent school division in Tennessee. In Tennessee, public and private is split. So within our division, we play schools like Notre Dame in Chattanooga, Chattanooga Christian School in Chattanooga, Boyd Buchanan. So similar, all these schools are actually a bit larger than we are, but those are the kinds of schools we play. In the other direction, Webb School is one of our arch rivals. We have, in past years, depending on the alignment, have played schools like Battleground Academy in Nashville, Davidson Academy, and schools like that. We'll also compete against our local public schools, so Tullahoma High School, Franklin County, sometimes Marion County, South Pittsburgh, Warren County as well. So a nice mix. We generally, in terms of travel, we'll have to travel to Chattanooga, and between, say, Sewanee and Murfreesboro mostly is our range of athletic travel.
Great, thank you. Looks like we got oh, okay. Here we go. They want to hear from the students, and I know I was gonna, I think we'll save Derek for after they hear the students, because not that y'all aren't painting a good picture, but I know they're going to fall in love with these students. And what I want to say is we obviously handpicked them, but I feel like we could have picked any 5 students at SAS and they would have been excellent representatives. But these all have parents who are Sewanee grads. And so we thought it would just kind of be neat to let you hear from them. But what I'd like to do is let the students kind of just introduce themselves and what grade they're in and where they live and maybe some activities you're involved in at SAS and maybe your favorite thing about it. So can you start, Nayla? You're the first one on my screen.
Hi, yes. I'm Nayla Hamilton. I'm in 9th grade. I am a part of soccer, basketball. I'm also running track this year. And did you say my favorite thing about SAS? Okay. My favorite thing would probably be the tight-knit community that we have, and it's really a family bond that I feel with almost basically everyone. So I think that's really cool to experience, especially through middle school and high school.
Fantastic. Ileana, do you mind to go next?
All right. Hello, I'm Ileana Pate. I live in Sewanee, like 5 minutes away from school. I can ride my bike. I'm a junior this year. I play soccer, I run track, and I wrestle. And I've been doing that for all 3 years I've been at SAS. And I guess similar to Nayla, I really love that I have multiple school families, actually. Like, I have my friends, but I also have my soccer family and my wrestling family, and then my relationships with all my teachers. And that's also something I found is really special. I came from homeschooling to SAS freshman year, and being able to have close connections with my teachers was like really important to making that transition, and it made it possible.
Thank you. I love that. Okay, the bottom, Sarah is not a current SAS student. She's actually a Sewanee student, but she's so recently graduated that we wanted to hear her perspective too. Sarah?
Hi, I'm Sarah Jane Kimmer. I'm a sophomore at Sewanee. I'm from Centerville, Alabama, and I was a boarder at SAS. I think my favorite thing about SAS was also the tight-knit community, and it's been really interesting to see how even after I've graduated from SAS, how I've stayed close with so many of my friends. My senior class, we have a very active group message, so I still stay in touch with them.
I love that. Thank you so much. All right, Luca, you're up.
Yeah, I'm Luca Malde. I'm a sophomore at SAS now. I've lived in Sewanee my whole life. I love it. I'm part of the golf team this year and the climbing team as well. In previous years, I've mountain biked and played soccer. And then my favorite part of Sewanee, probably, as everybody said, that community aspect is really awesome. But more specifically, our outdoors program is another like really cool family sort of. Like, I get to go climb with German students that I would never get to climb for, and like some of the best people that I wouldn't interact with on a normal school day, but go and like hike with them or camp or go on a run. It's just a really, really awesome thing. And getting to use our trails on campus and our rocks especially, and then also getting to take advantage of the Sewanee's domain is really, really awesome.
Great, thank you. Abbott, glad you're here. You're next.
I'm Abbott Root. I'm a sophomore, and I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. And I'm a boarder, of course. So this year was my first year as cross country. So that was a lot of fun to test new things out. And now I'm the assistant to the athletic trainer. My favorite thing about campus is probably like the outdoors and the campus itself. Yeah, there's so many like opportunities and so many trails that you can hike on the weekends, and the res, of course, and yeah.
We're so glad you're here. Thank you for that. Okay, I mean, if you guys have questions, you can put them in the, while we got everybody here, I'm sure the students would be happy to answer anything. But in the meantime, Derek, if people are ready to find out more about SAS and the admissions process, what would be the next steps? Do y'all have openings now, or they need to wait for a whole year?
Well, so right now they can contact the admission office. We're pretty full for this current academic year, but we're looking, application season is open up for next school year. The 21-22 academic year is wide open. And so they can reach out to the admission office. We're happy to communicate with them via email or by phone. They can begin the application. It's an online application just by going to sas.org/admission/apply. It's right there. Online application. We'll walk you through the steps. You'll be assigned one of the admission representatives in our office that will help walk with you alongside helping you complete the application process. We look for teacher recommendations, your current math, current English, teacher recommendations. We look for maybe another non-family member adult, maybe a pastor or a coach that can write a recommendation for you. Your academic record, so a transcript, your grade reports for the last couple of years. And then upper school students will submit a standardized test. We typically use the SSAT. There's other options that are out there. And again, we can walk with families through those different options. And then we'd love to have you come visit our campus. We are still doing, even in this COVID environment, we're doing safe, socially, appropriately distanced tours of campus. If you're unable to make it to campus, we can have conversations via Zoom like we're doing right now, which is something that we've been doing pretty much daily. So we're happy to do that with you, but we'd love to have you come visit campus. But we'll walk with you alongside any questions you have. Our admission office is right there to work with you.
Great. But so like over the holidays, if they decide they want to make a change in their current school, can you come in mid-year at SAS?
We do have very few spaces, and we would need to, we just have a limited number of spaces and certain grades. And so right now, if someone is interested, just contact us as soon as you can so we can find out what grade level that you are, and we can work with you there at that point.
Okay. Well, we want to end with a really uplifting little video about the campus. But before we do that, Carl, do you have any closing remarks you'd like to say?
I just want to say thank you, Susan, for giving us this opportunity. And I do hope, folks, that you'll take advantage of the, just to take a look. I think that, as Susan said, we've got incredible students, incredible faculty, and although the folks that you heard from tonight are some of the best, that we've got a whole bunch who are some of the best, and I can assure you that if your child comes to SAS, or if you're a student right now that's looking at and watching this and you want to come to SAS, I can assure you, you will belong here. You will find a place, and you will fit in, and we'd love to have you. We always love having new students come to us. And so we look forward to meeting you at some point, real soon.
And if I could just real quickly, just make sure that I say the website correctly, sasweb.org. That's our website.
Great. Thank you for that. Okay. I am going to turn it over to this video. It's about just under 3 minutes long that we'll send you all off with this video and just come back and say goodbye. But we just so appreciate everybody being here, and thank you all, and reach out to anybody. I'll follow up with everybody's contact information. But we were grateful that you were here, and enjoy the video. Great. Well, thank you all. I hope you enjoyed that. I just wanted to say again, we're so grateful that you all took the time to be here tonight and hear more about St. Andrew Sewanee. Thank you all, and we'll follow up. And if you have any questions, just let us know.